last video on the 722.9 transmission, I left you with two questions. The first question was, does this W204 C350 have the early or the late transmission? It was up in the air. You got to see it. You got to look at the transmission. And I left you with that question because it was basically a quiz. Do you understand the difference between the early and the late transmissions? Now, both these cars, both this C350 and this W221 S550 are mid-2010 cars. And at that point, you need to be a little concerned. Which transmission do you have? If you have up to a 2009, you're going to have the early transmission. If you're going to have a 2012 or later, you probably don't have to worry about it. But there is one caution on the early transmissions, and I'll mention that later in this video. So now I've got the W221 up in the air. Let's go underneath and see if we can figure out whether that car has the early or the late 722.9. As with the W204, I had to remove the underbody panels to get a close look at this pan, but this is what you're looking at right here. These four little dimples, see those? Is this the early transmission or is this the late transmission with the option A89? Okay, after looking at there, it's pretty obvious. I mean, most of you probably guessed the correct answer on the W204. And on this one, it also has the early transmission. And by early, I mean it has the smaller pan. And we talked about this whole issue with the size of the dimples on the bottom of the pan. If you have some model up to 2009 and you want to do a transmission service, I recommend you go into the car and look at the pan first. Because if someone already made the conversion to the later pan and the later filter, if you order a new filter, it's not going to work. The bolts, the gasket, they're all the same. But just a caution there, I feel the best way is to look at the bottom of the pan. There's no confusion there. Either it has these small dimples that you see here, or it's going to have the deeper dimples that you see here. So yesterday I finished up on the C350, and I'm going to take you now and show you some highlights. I've already done a couple of videos. There's lots of videos on YouTube on how to do this transmission service. I have a few unique perspectives and a unique tank that we'll talk about later. But take a look and you'll see that this transmission was actually in very good condition. I mentioned in a previous video that you could pull this plug and drain the fluid, check for color. Of course, the early transmission color is red and the later transmission is blue, but if it's really dirty, it's really hard to tell. But I like to drain a little bit out and inspect it before I start draining the whole lot. And you can use a small container like this, but you better be ready, because if you can't get that pan plug back in, if you're going to take a sample, make sure you put a larger pan underneath. Anytime you work on a 722.9 transmission, you have to be prepared. The job can get very messy with all the fluid in these transmissions. If you're not careful, you'll have fluid over everything, and it's very hard to clean up because it's super slippery. So what I do is I get a drip pan, so if I happen to make a mistake and splash, it's not going to go on the floor. Then I take and put a pan here that's going to hold whatever drains out of the pan. And then finally, I want to take my sample with all this in place. So you can see why it is important to be prepared. I'm going to pull this plug. I'm going to try to get a sample in this little container, and then I'm going to try to get the plug back in. And you need to keep your arm out of the way, or it's going to leak down your arm. How do I know that? All right, that's pretty good. It's nice and red. So we know for sure that this is the early 722.9. Now you see, leaving this on a hex wrench is a lot easier than trying to grab this slippery plug and getting it back in. But now I can take this over to the bench and inspect it. It's not bright red, so it doesn't mean it's new, but it's not brown. Usually these will take on a brown cast if they've been in the transmission for a long period of time. Now, I do have maintenance records on this car. They said they had a transmission service about 20,000 miles ago, but I don't know if that was a full service. I don't know if it was, a full flush or whatever. They may have just put 4 quarts in and a new filter. But the main reason I want to do the service on this C350 is I want to install the new pan in the high performance filter. Here's a warning I want to share with you. I just bet you that there's been a lot of major spills on garage floors because people did not realize how much fluid is still in the pan, even though you knock off this standpipe and drain the plug into a pan. This is almost a liter of fluid. So you have to be really careful, even though you've drained it. And I showed this in an earlier video. If you're by yourself, what I recommend you do is leave the 2 bolts loose, remove the front 4 bolts, and tip the pan and let it drain off. Now, I pulled this off with my helper, and it took 2 of us to keep this level while we dropped it off the transmission and carried it over here to the bench. So just a warning, mark my word, if you aren't careful, you're going to have a huge mess, and this transmission fluid is not fun to clean up. I think my estimation was wrong. Look at this, 1.5 liters of transmission fluid still in the pan after you've drained it. Drainer beware. So now I can really inspect the fluid once it's drained off the pan. What I'm looking for is sludge buildup and any signs of fine silvery little particles. That's real bad. But this here is just kind of normal sludge buildup. Now these magnets here will give you a clue too. Look at this. You can see why they put magnets in these transmissions. We're picking up a little bit there. Now I've seen these where they're just totally covered. So I believe that this is not the original transmission fluid in the car. I think a service was done. I don't know if it was a complete service, but I think this gives you a pretty good idea now why Mercedes is recommending fluid changes about every 40,000 miles. Not the life of the transmission. In a previous video, I told you I like to let these just drip overnight, and I showed you how much fluid will actually drip out of the valve body if you let it sit overnight. But the next surprise, if you have not done this job before, is going to be the fluid rushing out at you when you remove the filter. This filter is not screwed in place. It's just plugged in with an O-ring. So you want to take and wiggle it. Just be careful. We're going to just wiggle it out here. Look at that. So can you imagine if you weren't prepared for that either, you'd get a big surprise. If you recall, in the first video, I left you with the second question. And that question was, why in the world did Mercedes go to a bigger pan anyway? Now, a couple years ago, it was all over the internet. I remember this classic example, one person would say something on some forum, and then some guy on YouTube would say it, and then pretty soon everybody believed it. And the word on the street was Mercedes went to a bigger pan so you could put more fluid in it, and that would lower operating temperature. Well, that's not the case. Both the early and the late model take the same amount, approximately 10 quarts. So that's not the reason why Mercedes went to a bigger pan. Here is the early pan, the early filter. Here's the late pan with a late filter. I've already shown you that this filter is a little bit thicker, and if you do make the conversion to the later pan or you have a later transmission, the only filter I recommend you get is the Mercedes-Benz Smart Media triple filter that you see here. And that's included in my kit. I have a complete kit with instructions on how you can take your early 722.9 transmission and convert it to this later pan and better filter. So they lowered the pan, I believe, first of all, so they could get a little bit bigger filter in, but the primary reason they lowered the pan was for flow. Now, I have to tell you, in the W221, one time I punched that thing and went around a corner very hard, and I got some cavitation in the transmission. And that's not good. I haven't pulled the pan yet to see what's going on, but I believe if you look here and see how close the filter inlet is to the bottom of the pan, if you start to get some of that sludge buildup down here and that starts to plug up a little bit, it will restrict flow, and flow is critical. Now look at this. The inlet's in the same position, but look at how much higher this filter in the 722.9 plus sits off the bottom of the pan. Look at this one. I can't even get my fingers in there. So I'm looking at my W221 now, which is a 4MATIC. And to me, that's even more critical, because a lot of problems with the failure of these transfer cases comes from low fluid or poor flow through the transmission. Because remember, look here, the transfer case in this S550 is connected to the transmission and it shares the same fluid. So definitely, I believe if you have a 4MATIC, you should definitely make this conversion. And even if you don't have a 4MATIC and you have a older 722.9, by the time you go to all the work to change the fluid, the filter and everything, you're only adding about $100 to upgrade to this newer filter and deeper pan. So I think you can see why I definitely want to upgrade this transmission on this W221 4MATIC. I don't want to have any problems with my transfer case, okay? In the next video, I'm going to take you underneath the car and we're going to show you some highlights again. Once again, I won't be doing a complete video on the service because I have that video that's included with my kits. You're going to need some type of pressure tank to put new fluid into the transmission. You can't put it in from the top, okay? So we'll roll up our sleeves next week. It's already Friday, so I probably won't be doing the service for a couple days here. And we'll get underneath there and we're going to go after this W221 and see what we find. The other thing I will include in my next video is the different ways you can determine the temperature of the transmission when you're setting your final fill level. There's no dipstick. You have to use a procedure to set the level by draining so much out of the pan. But what's really important is you have to have the transmission at the right temperature. I'll include some tips on how you can do that in part 3 in this series. But if you're interested in my kit, I'm going to put some links in the show more below this video that'll take you right to them.